Alright guys, welcome to our preview and predictions for WWE Royal Rumble, which takes place this Sunday, live on the WWE Network. Elle, how are you doing? You looking forward to the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I'm like super excited for it. I think the great thing about Royal Rumble is pretty much anything can happen. It can be the start of new feuds and everything. So I've got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's going to be brilliant, and hopefully we don't get Roman Reigns walking out again.
Hopefully, we can't get that 2 years in a row. Surely that's not going to happen. Not when he's entering number one. The odds are all stacked against him. And even though it's kind of in the back of your mind thinking maybe there's a chance he can do it, there's so many other options. Hopefully they'll go with something else. I'm just really looking forward to it. I think aside from WrestleMania, it's always the pay-per-view that I always look forward to. Just to kind of see what surprises they install and past stars making a return. I think, was it last year we're seeing Bubba Ray Dudley and then the Dudleys return later in the year? So just anything like that, I'm just really looking forward just to seeing who turns up. Is there anyone in particular, surprise returns you're looking forward to?
I can't really think of anyone major, like you say, we had the Dudleys and things, because we've had a lot of people like Rhino and whatnot coming back. I think I'm more looking forward to see if anyone from NXT turns up. I'm not sure on people like Finn Balor, the huge ones, but even the returns of someone like, say, Sami Zayn or something, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think NXT guys, I think there's got to be someone this year. I'm sure I read a story about, was it Josh that won Tough Enough?
Yeah.
Well, I think they mentioned maybe him making a debut. I could see him making a short appearance. I don't know if he'll go the lengths of Maven and eliminate the Undertaker. I can't quite see that. Maybe that's something for next year. But like you say, Sami Zayn, I think that would be an awesome return. It's a great way to bring him back up to the main roster. And we're seeing something at an NXT live event last week where Kevin Owens turned up and had an interaction with Sami Zayn. So if Zayn is in the Rumble, maybe it's a chance for those two to meet up and kind of just rekindle what they had in NXT, which would be awesome to see on the main roster, especially leading into WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, any feud can come from anywhere, someone eliminating someone else. It's a perfect opportunity. I think there's a few feuds on the card, say the Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. I think it's time for those to finish, and what better way to finish them at the Royal Rumble and have them both going into new feuds, whether he's got the title or not.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity just to freshen things up, get a few new feuds on, and then just run to WrestleMania with everything fresh and just looking forward to it. And I think that's what we really need at the moment, just something to freshen things up. So before we get to the actual Royal Rumble event, what I wanted to ask you was, in terms of fantasy booking, if you could book anyone, superstar or diva, past or present, alive or dead, who would you have as your major fantasy return to the Royal Rumble? Is anyone in particular?
Well, I don't know about major, but I kind of tried to think out of the box a little, because we've had a few people over the years returning and things, but I kind of went with someone different, and I went with EC3. Obviously, he originally was in NXT and WWE, but in TNA he's been phenomenal. He's a huge star, and he's got so much potential. I think if he was to come to WWE, fair enough, he can't because he's in a contract and whatnot. I think he could be a huge star, whether or not he's in NXT or on the main roster. I think he'd be someone brilliant to kind of take the role at Royal Rumble and kind of run with it. I think he'd be brilliant.
He would be an awesome choice. I was waiting for you going Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy. I can't believe you went with Derek Bateman.
You can't call him Derek Bateman, he's EC3.
Yeah, let's forget about that. It's all about EC3. I don't know if he'll keep the Carter name in the WWE though. That's something to be seen. But it'd be awesome to see him come back. I think TNA's really made him, and the character he's got there is just so well done. I think he's one of the sort of breakout stars of the last year, and everything TNA's done with him, they don't do a lot well, but EC3 is something that they have really done well. In terms of my fantasy booking, I went with a name that's more of a household name. I went with, well, this probably isn't going to happen in real life, but remember, this is fantasy, so injuries, we can just discount them for now. I'm going to go with the rated R superstar Edge, because I think we all want to see Edge have one more match, and maybe injuries are stopping him in real life, but fantasy-wise, I would love to see an Edge return. Win the Royal Rumble, win the championship this year, or go on to WrestleMania next year. I think that'd be awesome. Just give Edge a WrestleMania send-off. You can maybe work 2 matches. That's not too much to ask for. Hopefully. Maybe in the future, a couple of years, do you think?
I think if he was in better condition, I definitely wouldn't be opposed. For all he did leave after WrestleMania and things, he didn't really get that major send-off, and what better way at WrestleMania or Royal Rumble to have the final match. I definitely think it'd be worth it, and I don't think we've kind of had that kind of edge to someone who isn't, say, Bray Wyatt, as someone that we had with Edge, and Edge was phenomenal over the years, and just seeing like how he went from this kind of goofy character to being the rated R superstar, it's phenomenal, and I definitely want some Edge back.
Definitely. I mean, when you think of his career going from like the tag team, like a lot of people always get stuck with like that tag team, like the Dudleys. Bubba Ray went singles wise, but you always kind of come back to that. Edge and Christian, you always think them together, but Edge, in terms of his singles career, like it was phenomenal the way that he went. So he'd definitely be my pick for that. So I think we've done pretty well there. I think everyone has to let us know in the comments who their dream pick would be. Would you go with someone that's a legend, someone from TNA, just anyone really? You can go New Japan Pro Wrestling. There's a lot of guys coming in from there. So let me know in the comments who you would pick. Dream return or debut. Go with debut if you want to. Just who you want to see return or debut in the Royal Rumble. So that is that kind of segment. Want to move on to predictions before we start the show. What we want to cover is last month we had TLC, and this was like the last event of that prediction year. So the predictions are resetting this year. I'm going to give the results to TLC first. So I had 97 people submit predictions, 8 of which scored a perfect 7 out of 7 correct results. So I want to say congratulations to Sean Finn's RKO, JS Mac, Johnny Boy 23, Wrestling Wolf, Churro Dude 666, C Thunderpants, and me and you, Elle, we got a perfect score, 7 out of 7.
I'm like more surprised that I couldn't remember getting them all right.
I couldn't even remember the result, never mind what I chose for it. It's just, it seems like a long time ago since we've actually done predictions, because it was before Christmas now, so it's been quite a while, and it seems ages ago when Sheamus actually cashed in and won the championship.
And just to think like he no longer has it, it totally feels like it's dragged out.
It really does. It's gone on like, it feels like so much longer than it actually is. It's probably only like a month or so, but it just seems like such a much longer time. So that is kind of the predictions for TLC. In regards to the year, if you want to check out the link in the description, you can check out the standings for the entirety of 2015. So I want to say a massive congratulations to Chad 2K15. He topped the standings for the full year. So out of 13 events, he managed to come top with a total of 60 points. Win percentage of 63%, so congratulations to Chad. He beat me by 1 point, so I was quite devastated by that. But I do want to say congratulations to you, Elle, as well, because you only entered 7 of the 13 results when I started actually doing predictions, but you managed to score the same as like people that had done like 9 or 10 events, and you got, I couldn't believe this, 72% of all your predictions right. How'd you do it? Have you got someone on the inside?
So basically what you're saying, if I had predicted all the pay-per-views, I would have won and not the other person.
What I'm saying is, thank God you only done 7 of the 13.
Well, at least I'm doing like this full year and I'll win, and I definitely think you should get like some trophy going or something, just something I get to like win at the end of the year.
I think so, that you get to win. That's very... Yeah. Lots of confidence there. I think we'll have to set up something for this one and maybe have it for the end of the year. So if you do end at all these predictions, then by the end of the year there is something that's actually on the line and you will actually get a prize. So that'd be quite cool. If you do want to get involved, like I say, at the prediction year resets, so it is starting afresh this month. You can enter your predictions over at smacktalks.org/predictions, and I'll post the results to the Royal Rumble on Monday morning. So I guess that covers predictions, dream matches, everything else. So let's move on to the Royal Rumble itself. We're going to kick things off with the tag team championships on the line. We've got the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, defend the championships against the Usos. How do you see this one going down? Do you think it's going to be a case of New Day retaining, or is this time for the Usos?
I think like it's an interesting spot. I think because WrestleMania is only a short way away, for me, I think it'd be pointless taking it off New Day. I know I've said it before, but I think if you're going to take it off someone as huge as the New Day, I'd leave it till WrestleMania. They're still on a massive high. They've got the unicorn horns and everything now, and they're just going from strength to strength, so why take the titles off them just yet?
Oh, see, I can't believe you said that, because I'm kind of leaning the opposite way on this. I love the New Day, but I think it's probably time to have them drop the titles now and give them the Usos, and then like leading into WrestleMania and get some of them other teams in there, like the Dudleys as well, and just keep things fresh. I don't want to like long title reign as much as I love the New Day. I mean, I'm in two minds about this, because I want the New Day to retain, but at the same time I think it'd be good for the tag division to give it the Usos and then bring in some more talent. This is really hard. I'm really feeling this one. I just feel bad for the New Day, especially like losing Francesca the other week at the hands of Chris Jericho. Don't have her in the corner anymore. Woods is there. He's devastated. I don't know. I think on Raw, I think we're seeing the New Day kind of go for the Usos and that giving them a strong build going into this. But I think for the first time, I can really see them dropping the titles in this one. Are you confident they're going to retain it?
I think for me, they have to, like you say, it's not that long till WrestleMania, and I don't think the Usos would really gain anything from winning now. I think usually when we get a new tag team, fair enough, New Day have been around for a while now, but after a while they kind of get still, whereas New Day, for me personally, I'm still totally in love with them, and I think they could go on for another few months and then maybe go away for a little while or take a backseat. But for now, I don't know, I kind of feel that we've had a lot of Uso title reigns and I don't think they'd really benefit winning just yet.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with that. I think I'm probably still going to go with Usos on this just to kind of freshen things up for me. But I feel bad, especially after losing Francesca and everything else that's happened with the New Day.
So you should.
Oh man, poor New Day. I'm going to go with the Usos. And you go New Day? Is that going to kick you off?
Yeah.
So there's our predictions for the first match on the show. We're following that up with the United States Championship match. We'll have Alberto Del Rio taking on Kalisto. Now, I have to say, when we're seeing Kalisto win this title the other week, I was so happy for him. I thought it was such a good move, and I was so glad to see the title drop by Del Rio. And then a day later, SmackDown comes around, and he's already lost it. How did this happen? I couldn't believe it. I was totally devastated when I seen that, because I thought this was kind of the good push, the singles push that Kalisto could get in the absence of Sin Cara. And it would kind of cement him as the next big luchador star, the next big Rey Mysterio. And I think they were doing a great job of just pushing him for that. But then when he lost the title, I was quite devastated because I thought this kind of steps back and I didn't see the reason to give it to Del Rio. But at the same time, seeing everyone's reaction, how devastated they were, all the dislikes on the WWE video, it just showed how up in arms everyone was. And actually, thinking about it now, I think this has been a really good decision because I think it's got everyone behind Kalisto more and we want to see him win the championship back more. The only thing is, I don't know if it's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. I think they might prolong this a little bit longer. So I'm kind of tempted to go with Del Rio on this one. What's your thoughts on it?
It's a really strange one because in some sense I wish he hadn't won, but the title when actually came out of nowhere, I don't think anyone suspected it, and it was definitely a great Raw moment. And then, like you say, when he got took off him, it not only kind of devalued him, but I think it made Alberto Del Rio look even worse. He lost Zeb Coulter a few weeks ago, and I don't think winning it back's done him any favours. It kind of made him look a bit weak because he needed League of Nations to kind of help him out. And I think if Kalisto was to win it back, it'd probably make them both look even worse. But it is good to see everyone getting behind Kalisto because he's brilliant, and I think I'd kind of argue that he's even better than Rey Mysterio. So I definitely want to see him in the forefront, but I think to give him it back again after losing it, I don't know. I don't think the logic's there.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think a kind of quick title return again, having him win it so quick after, I don't think it's going to work as well. I think it's probably better just to delay this a little bit. And it's kind of like, we've mentioned Rey Mysterio, it's kind of like the second coming of Mysterio because he has so many similarities. And Mysterio was always the underdog, and I think Kalisto is. And you can kind of tell the same kind of story with the kind of run that Kalisto has to get to finally get that championship. So he's had the taste of it being taken away from him, kind of like Roman Reigns, and we know how that worked out eventually. So maybe, further down the line, leading into WrestleMania, we can see Kalisto pick up the United States Championship again, but I don't think it's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. I think we're going to have to wait. So I'm going to go Del Rio on this one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like you said, I think it devalued both of them yet again, and I kind of wouldn't be surprised if Del Rio does win, that Kalisto kind of gets his revenge in the Royal Rumble, and at least that way they can continue the feud. It doesn't have to exactly go to WrestleMania, but even if it just prolongs it that bit more, I think it's definitely still got some longevity, and it kind of reminds me of some of the old Rey Mysterio feuds. I know we've compared him, but that's kind of what he had in the past, and then in the end, obviously you end up becoming the world champion, so the sky's the limit.
It really is. So hopefully if it follows in the same path, then, this big thing is to come for Kalisto. And with what we see on Raw, seeing him every single week, he seems to get better and better. There's so many incredible moves that he pulls off. And I think if they go the same Mysterio route, I think it is awesome to get behind. And hopefully there's a world championship in his future.
Fingers crossed, because I know for one I don't want an Alberto one.
I never want to see Del Rio hold another championship ever again. So I think we're agreed on that one. So the next match on the card, that is the Divas Championship on the line, as Becky Lynch takes on Charlotte after Ric Flair accepted the challenge on her behalf last week on Raw. She didn't seem too happy about it. Elle, what's your take on this? How do you see the Divas Championship match going?
I'm really super looking forward to this one. I can't remember the last time we had such a build up for a Divas match. We had things with Paige, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think having Ric Flair and Charlotte's corner has been a godsend, and it's kind of solidified her as a heel. I wasn't too sure when they kind of went that route, but I'm really loving it. And Becky Lynch has been on a total roll. The universe is finally getting behind her, and it's kind of making it, for me personally, one of the most matches I'm looking forward to on the card. Probably arguably the one with the biggest build as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. I can't decide if I want Charlotte to lose or win though, because I definitely think Becky's now worthy of winning it, but I don't think it's ready for Charlotte to drop the title and I've wanted to be this massive heel.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. Like what you said about it not being the right time, I kind of feel the same on this one. I'm a huge Becky fan and I'm really behind her. I'm glad that she's finally getting this run. And, she's stepping out the shadows because she was quite, pushed to the back of the line when everyone else come up, and the focus really wasn't on Becky. Right now, the focus is right on Becky and she's really shown what she can do. And I think everyone in the WWE universe has really got behind her and, they've really seen that firsthand. And I think it'd be great to see her as a champion, but the way things are going with Charlotte, I think it's a bad time to take it off her, because I've loved everything that they've done with Ric Flair when he's come in. And what he's kind of done is he's took Charlotte and he's got people invested in her, maybe not in sort of a good way as a face, but as a heel. They do react to her as a heel now, whereas when she was a face, she didn't really get too much of a reaction. And I think as a heel, she's kind of found a place and it fits a lot better. And having Rick in her corner, it kind of allows her to play off all these dirty tactics, have Rick come in, put a foot on the ropes, everything else. It's just so much more that's kind of adding to Charlotte's character, and I love the way that they're going with it. I just don't think it's the right time to have her kind of drop the title now. I think it's better to keep Becky sort of searching for this, and if they were to give her it, I think it'll probably be WrestleMania when we get a new Divas champion.
Yeah, I totally agree. I know I keep saying having people win the title at WrestleMania, but I think for someone like Charlotte, who's kind of got this massive ego now, I think WrestleMania would be the perfect time to kind of shatter that, and having Ric Flair in a corner yet again. Maybe we'll get someone on Becky's side or whoever it will be, but having Ric Flair in a corner, it kind of reminds me of when the male wrestlers have had people like Jimmy Hart and whatnot, and I don't think we've ever seen a diva have this major manager role, and I'm definitely loving it, so I kind of want it to prolong a bit more. I think Ric Flair at some point will take a backseat, so what perfect way to have him kind of screw out of the belt at WrestleMania, and then have someone like Becky who's fresh pick up the title and, like you say, has been this massive underdog.
Yeah, what I can kind of see going with it, the way that you mentioned with kind of Rick taking a back seat, I can probably see it where it gets to the point where Charlotte feels she doesn't need Flair in her corner, and he's kind of becoming more of a hindrance than he is actually benefiting her. Making this match could be the start of that, and it eventually gets to the point where she kind of distances herself from him, and ultimately that leads to her losing the championship further down the line. It may be WrestleMania, but I like the fact they've got Rick in the corner. Like you say, I can't remember the last time that we had a diva with such a big name as a manager. Maybe did Natalya have Bret Hart for a while?
Yeah, she's had him now and again, but he's never really stuck around.
Yeah, so this time with Ric Flair, he's kind of there all the time. And he does feel like much more of a manager and not just there for the support. So I love the fact that he's getting involved, and I just love the way going with this. Like I say, it's probably one of the best builds that we've had. And it's got me really looking forward to this match. I'm just looking forward to seeing the match itself, because I think it's going to be more of that NXT type feel. I don't think it's going to be a Divas match as such. And kind of the animosity that's built up between them, the way that Becky's kind of attacked Charlotte last week, I think that was on Main Event, leading into it just feels like there's a lot there, and I think there's a lot that they can actually tell in this story.
Yeah, definitely, and I was kind of worried about Becky at one point because it kind of looked like she was going to be in the backseat, and I was worried that she'd end up back in NXT, but over the past few weeks she's definitely outgrown and outshone a lot of people have been saying on Twitter Becky's rubbish and things, but she's totally proved them wrong, and she's definitely put this like new flair into the Divas division. I know we've had people like Charlotte and Sasha Banks, but Becky arguably is still on that same level, and it kind of makes me look forward to it even more because I literally don't know who could win. I could easily see it going either way.
Yeah, I completely agree on that as well. I think we all know what Sasha Banks can do. And I think a lot of people kind of looked at Sasha as, we want Sasha to be in these matches and to show that on the main roster. But we didn't really get to see too much from Becky. She had one great match at TakeOver. And then from there, she's really just had the big matches on sort of the weekly shows. So I think in terms of this one, it's really a chance for Becky to show what she can do. And now we can see that. We can really appreciate it. So like I say, I think it's probably not the right time, but I think Becky's time will come now that we've seen, this glimpse of Becky and what she can do. I just don't think it'll be now, so I'm probably going to go Charlotte on this one. Are you going to go the same?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely think Becky's going to capture it at some point. I just don't think it's right just yet.
Yeah, so in agreement on that one. It moves on to the fourth match on the show. We've got the Intercontinental Championship on the line. So this one will have Kevin Owens going up against Dean Ambrose. It's weird because this isn't a regular match. It's the last man standing match. And I've kind of got the point now where I only expect to see these on things like Extreme Rules and the gimmick pay-per-views. So it seems a bit weird to have this on a Royal Rumble, but I'm actually so glad that they've done this because it kind of mixes up the pay-per-view. And I miss this kind of feel where you had different gimmick matches like mixed in with the singles instead of just constant single matches. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's pretty much just a great addition to the card having this in there and a Royal Rumble. So it's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view itself. And these two, I think it's going to be a great match that's going to be really brutal. It's just going to knock sense out of each other. It's going to go all around the arena. One thing I can pretty much guarantee is there's going to be a point where Ambrose tries to bury Kevin Owens in some steel chairs.
That's kind of like his whole new gimmick. Like every time there's this type of match, he certainly seems to like bury someone in a bunch of chairs or something.
It's like his thing now. I can guarantee there's going to be like a time where Owens is down and the referee starts to make a count and Ambrose just starts covering him in all these chairs. It never works. Like, I don't know why he keeps doing it. It's like Jeff Hardy climbing the ladder. He never gets a belt. Like, they need to learn from this. Watch the tapes back. But I think this is going to be a great match. Like I say, I would love to see them just kind of go that old school feel. Like a kind of... is it Rock and Mankind with the last man standing match where they kind of went around the arena, went through the crowd, got up around the stage? I would love to see like just a kind of feel like that. And I think these two, they're so sort of crazy and willing to do anything. I think there is so much that they can try. And I think it's going to be like the making of these two. I think it'll be a really good match. And it's cool that they've got the championship on the line there as well. And whoever does lose it, it's not like that person's getting buried because they've got the Royal Rumble and they've got the chance to then go into that, have a good showing and end up in a rivalry with someone completely different come the end of the night.
Yeah, definitely. And for all that, I think the rivalry kind of lost its way a little because we've had like people like the League of Nations and whatnot and tag matches. So I kind of thought they were going to leave this feud, but it's back. And I'm not complaining at all because both of them arguably the most probably, I wouldn't say violent, but they're definitely both hard hitting. And this is the perfect like opportunity for them both to, because I dare say this feud's going to go out the window at the end of Royal Rumble. So what better way to like go all out at Royal Rumble and basically knock the living hell out of each other.
I think so. I think this is like the time where if you're a performer and you get a match on a pay-per-view, you really want to show what you can do because we're leading into WrestleMania and you want the crowd behind you, you want a good response and you want creative to kind of take notice and book you into something that is going to be major leading into WrestleMania. Which way do you see it going though? Could this go either way?
It kind of feels a lot like TLC where I was kind of like on the fence, but I think for the sake of the Royal Rumble, knowing that it's the end of the night, I think possibly Dean Ambrose should keep the title and then have Owens go into a brand new feud. Say if Sami Zayn does return, maybe have those two go out and have their match at WrestleMania. But I don't think he could really benefit. Obviously, winning the title would be huge, but I kind of think he could get a lot more going into a brand new feud without a title.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that's the case on this one. I think I would prefer to see Ambrose win. Retain the championship and then Kevin Owens goes into a feud with someone else. I mean, Lesnar would be a dream feud with Owens, but I think, like you mentioned, Sami Zayn, if he was to return the Royal Rumble and these two start something off, if we get a continuation of what we've seen in NXT, then I would absolutely love that. So I guess for that reason, I'm probably going to go Dean Ambrose on this one and just hope that Owens picks up something different and we kind of see something different from Owens going forward.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I kind of think Dean Ambrose needs another person to kind of bring his title reign to a bit more, I don't know, memorable, because so far I don't think he's done anything brilliant. Fair enough, he's had great matches, but I don't think there's been that much to the title reign just yet.
Yeah, I agree on that as well. I don't think there's been too much to this reign. It feels like it's kind of... Was it only TLC when he won it? I can't even remember.
I literally can't remember when he even won it. I think that's the thing, because obviously you have the United States Championship and then you have the Intercontinental, but the feuds kind of merge now and again, so you kind of forget who's got which one, and the feuds all, like you say, they all merge together and you kind of forget who's who.
Well, it kind of does, because we had Neville involved in this as well, and originally I thought that was the case. We were going to get a Neville and Owens feud, and I think Ambrose come down to save Neville, and that kind of transitioned into these two having a feud. Neville got left behind and went off to do something else. So I was kind of hoping we would get Neville and Owens anyway. Maybe that's something we can get in the future. But as far as this one goes, I think I'm going to go Ambrose. So that's going to be my prediction on this. Are you going to go the same as well?
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I definitely think he needs someone to kind of bring his his title reign to a bit more succession.
Absolutely. So that covers that match. This kind of takes up the Royal Rumble match itself, although WWE have announced that there's going to be a 4-team tag team match that takes place on the pre-show. And then the winners of that, the winning team, will get some places in the Royal Rumble match itself. Now, it's kind of strange because these aren't exactly tag teams. We'll have the Dudley Boys and the Ascension, so they're actual teams. But then we'll have Mark Henry teaming up with Jack Swagger, and we'll have Damian Sandow and Darren Young teaming up. So I don't know why Darren Young isn't teaming up with Titus. That's a bit strange, because as far as I know, the Primetime Players are still together. They were together last week in a promo, but they seem to be doing individual things for these. Do you get anything from this? I don't know. Does it make any sense?
I think I'm beyond trying to work WWE out at this point. I think it's just done there for the sake of it, but I literally can't understand why people, especially people like Darren Young, why they aren't with the tag team partners, and I think the match itself is pretty weird.
It is, and I don't know why they reunited the Primetime Players, because since they have, the booking has been so strange. I don't know what's gone on with it. It's like they want to push Titus O'Neil, but they're like, oh, you've got to be in a tag team in case this doesn't work. We don't want to break you up again. It's so strange, because you've got Darren Young wrestling on main event, singular, and then you've got Titus on Raw, and Titus looks as though he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, saying he's not in this. I think he pretty much guaranteed a spot. So yeah, I don't really know what to think of this, other than maybe the Dudleys are the only ones that have a chance of winning it, because they only actually tag team in this, and I can't really see the mix of the others coming across as, someone that could beat a tag team like the Dudley Boys to get in the Royal Rumble. What do you think?
I definitely think it's out of the Ascension, the Dudleys, but surely the Dudleys are going to be in there. The only other thing I take from it is that...
Hang on, you think the Ascension have a chance here?
Well, only because they're a tag team that actually know each other.
Well, it's debatable.
Well, yeah, let's face it, they've barely won anything else, but like you say, the only other thing I'm taking from it is there's 6 other people in that match that aren't going to be in the Royal Rumble, so then who the hell's going to take up those spots in the Royal Rumble?
Well, that is a very good point. I think that's one of the reasons why we love tuning in to the Royal Rumble so much, just to see who gets these surprise places, and that's kind of a good sign for me. I'm glad you point this out, because it means that there is some surprise slots available in the Royal Rumble, and hopefully got some good returns, some debuts maybe as well.
I definitely think, I know there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, we want the Bullet Club, but I kind of want some old people as well. I don't just want the Bullet Club. I kind of want people that made me interested in wrestling years ago.
Well, I think that's one of the things that makes it. When you get someone from your childhood coming through, I think it was a couple of years ago we had Road Dogg return, and that was before the New Age Outlaws got back together, and that was such a cool moment. So I always like seeing the guys that I kind of grew up with, just coming in, filling one of them spots. So, hopefully we get quite a few. I'm really looking forward to it. That's the best thing about the Royal Rumble for me. With this match though, what's your prediction on it? Are you going to go Dudley Boys?
Yeah, for this match, I'm going to go Dudleys, because I think definitely come the Royal Rumble, they both give brilliant spots like they usually do, so it'd be a waste, I think, to give it to any of the other 6.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to go Dudleys on this as well. I think they'll probably be in the ring as well together at some point, so we can see some 3Ds. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I guess that is now time for the main event then. We've got the 2016 Royal Rumble match. The WWE Championship is actually on the line here, so no one's going to WrestleMania just yet, but whoever finishes the night still inside that ring, not going over the top rope. We'll have a new WWE champion potentially as Roman Reigns enters at number 1, so the odds are all stacked up against him. Do you think he's got a chance of retaining it? This is Roman Reigns.
Like you said, this is Roman Reigns, and like before this, like we were saying, the past 3 Royal Rumbles have kind of all been about Roman Reigns. Back in, I think, was it 2013, he had his like record where he beat Kane's streak and things. Yeah. Last year, obviously, he won it, and now this year, he's coming in first, and it's for the title. Like, it's always about Roman Reigns.
It is. It's all about Reigns. And the way that they keep stacking the odds against him and saying there's no chance in hell he's going to be number 1, it makes me think, you know, the more you say that, the less I believe you, because the more I think he's going to actually win this. The only thing that puts us off is the fact that the reaction that he got last year and saying how bad that was, I don't think people are going to want to see it this year. And I think hopefully they've learned the lesson from last year and they won't actually go down the same route again this time. So for that reason, I'm just praying that we'll get Reigns maybe eliminated late on, so it's maybe like down to the final 4, something like that. Maybe we'll get someone like Triple H, who hasn't been announced. He hasn't actually been seen, I don't think, since he was attacked at TLC from Roman Reigns. So the fact that he's been off TV, that says to me he's getting ready to make an appearance at the Royal Rumble, and that'll be his big return, where he can kind of one-up Roman Reigns. And even if he's not in the match, just eliminate Reigns from the match yourself.
It's funny because, like, for all the reasons you list that why Roman Reigns wouldn't win, it's probably all the reasons why they'll make him win. Like, nobody wanted to see it, they did it anyway,
it really
everyone booed. I literally can't work out their logic. And I think the thing is, like you said, with Royal Rumble, like, even more so because the title's on the line, literally anyone should be able to win. And I kind of think having Roman come in first and, like, having all the odds against him, it kind of devalues the Royal Rumble in some sort of sense. Fair enough, it's for the title, but it's all about Roman Reigns. It's like, oh, well, Heath Slater's not going to win or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It kind of gets rid of that randomness that you kind of associate with Royal Rumble and the fact that anyone can win.
It does. I think it does devaluate it because no matter who wins this, if it is Roman Reigns, it feels as though the Royal Rumble then has been devalued because we haven't got anything coming out of it. It's just Reigns, the champion. We don't have a number 1 contender. It's like, what was the point in the Royal Rumble? So for that reason, I'm hoping we do get someone else actually win it. I think in terms of the favourites, we've covered Reigns. We mentioned Triple H maybe in it. Brock Lesnar, he's got to be a favourite. And I think Bray Wyatt, the way that he was booked on Raw, is he maybe a pretender or is he a favourite?
Well, they like to make us think he's going to win and then he like loses like every single pay-per-view. So it's probably just some sort of spotlight that's going to diminish.
Well, like you say, that reason alone... It's like this is too late. I think they've kind of made Wyatt look really good this past week leading into the Royal Rumble. And I think that is what you want to do. But everything before that, it makes me think in my head, there's no chance he's going to win it because he's lost all these matches last year. Fair enough, this is a new year. It could be a new start for him. His resolution's to win matches for a change. But I don't know, I've still got that sour taste in my head of all the matches that he lost last year. Even though he's got people like Strowman and the rest of the Wyatt family on his side, who I could see coming in, and even if they get eliminated, coming back in and attacking whoever's left, and maybe throwing them out for Bray Wyatt, I think that'd be quite cool. It's just, I don't see him as someone that could go on and headline WrestleMania, going in as the champion. I think maybe next year, if they give him a strong year first. But I think in terms of favourite, I would go with Brock Lesnar. I can just see him hitting the ring, suplexing everyone, taking them all to Suplex City, and then, you know, Lesnar win the championship. It sets him up to go into WrestleMania. Maybe we could get, like, Triple H and Reigns, and then it leaves Lesnar free for someone, like Heyman said on Raw, you know, Brock Lesnar against Sheamus, against Jericho, Del Rio, any name that's got Brock Lesnar on the other side of that bracket, then that's a huge match regardless.
I definitely agree. I think I'm on the fence with Brock Lesnar because obviously we had him win the title a few years ago and he wasn't around that much, and eventually I kind of went off the idea, and like you say with someone like Bray Wyatt where they always build him up brilliantly and then he loses and then it's back. It's kind of like having that old relationship with like an ex or something where you kind of build up the trust again and then it's something else happens and it's going backwards and forwards, and it's kind of like really awkward because I want to get behind Roman Reigns and then you see him doing all this brilliant stuff and then you just know at the end it's not going to come to anything, so you kind of give up on him. And I think at this point I have given up on him. I'm going to have to like wait for a few more pay-per-views if he does win and then kind of judge it. But I don't know, like I was saying to you earlier on, it's a shame that the stipulation for the match wasn't whoever's the champion, like so Roman Reigns is the champion, whoever eliminates him is the champion. Kind of like what they did with the hardcore title where anyone could pin anyone at any time. It's a shame they didn't do that with the belt and then literally anyone could be champion. And I think I'd probably, if I was doing the drunk game, I think I'd be wasted, but I'd definitely enjoy it. It'd bring a lot more excitement to the Royal Rumble and literally anyone could win, even Heath Slater.
Well, that'd be so cool. It's like I mentioned to you when you mentioned it, the championship scramble. So like that kind of idea, it's a match where you can actually have someone like Heath Slater for a moment become the champion, even if it's not recognised. In that moment, it is, and you're seeing him as the champion, and everyone's then going to pin him. And I think that's such a cool way to do it. I'm so like disappointed we haven't seen a championship scramble for so long because I enjoy them so much.
I think it adds that unpredictability that we rarely get, like especially now where we have names like Roman Reigns winning all the time and whatnot. It kind of, it doesn't ruin it because we still get a great match, but I think we miss that predictability that we got years and years ago where anyone could win. And I'm just hoping that WWE pulls the plug and gives us someone new and someone else who can run with the title.
Well, it'd be cool. It's just, I don't know if we're like still in the days of having someone new come in and win the championship, which I think in terms of someone new, we'll probably get to that in a bit. But in terms of an established star and a legend, someone that I've been quite harsh on when he has returned, but I do think he has an outside chance.
Big Show.
Maybe not Big Show. Maybe sometime in the future, because I don't see him retiring anytime soon. He's never going to retire. I was actually thinking Chris Jericho could have a decent shot of winning this. And I find that strange to say, because I've always been harsh on him. And just basically for the way that he's been booked when he's come back, because he's faced like a lot of new guys like Fandango, and he's always let them get the win and go over him. So he's booking, it's been worse than his dress sense. It's just been so bad. But I think this time, seeing him come back, he's in the main event, or he's around the main event, and I think that does wonders for him. It brings back, you know, the feeling of this is a legend in Chris Jericho. It's not just someone that's here to put over new talent. And I think that's quite cool. I would actually quite like to see Jericho win it. And when you look at all of Jericho's accomplishments, one thing he's never done is win the Royal Rumble. So that to me says maybe he does have an outside chance of winning it. And we got that tease on Raw where it was Heyman and Jericho in the ring and Lesnar come out. So maybe that could lead to something like a Brock Lesnar and Chris Jericho match at WrestleMania. And I think if we were to get Jericho turn heel, then I think that'd be really cool, because we got a glimpse of it when he teamed up with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and he kind of left them behind, and we thought he's going back to heel Jericho, but then he went off TV and he disappeared again. So I think if he was to stick around a little bit longer, I would be quite happy with Jericho winning the Royal Rumble and we're getting heel Jericho, as long as he wears a suit and he's got the shirt on this time, because he looks ridiculous. But I would be quite happy. Heel Jericho, Brock Lesnar, I could deal with that.
I think, well, actually thinking about it, wasn't the last time Jericho went heel, didn't he like do that whole silence thing?
Yeah, I don't know if I want that one, but what I would say is I'm pretty sure every time he's won a world championship, I think he's won 6, maybe 7, every time I'm pretty sure it was as a heel. So if we do get heel Jericho, championship could be in his future.
I think the thing for me, because I always loved Jericho for years, but like every time he comes back, I wouldn't say it gets worse, but it kind of rubs out a bit. Like he comes back, puts someone off, goes again. It's kind of like this rinse and repeat thing. And I had to say, like when he came back this time, I kind of wasn't that bothered because he's done it so many times. So I don't think I'd pop much if he did win. Fair enough, it would be brilliant and props to him. But I don't think I'd get that pop. Say if Brock Lesnar won for all, I don't really want him to. I'd still kind of pop. But for Jericho, I don't think I'd be really into it.
Well, that's what I mean. I always say, like, the losses that he's had when he's come back, and he's come back so many times, it devalues his character, and you get that feeling. So, like, you've kind of just, like, cemented everything that I've been saying about it, and I think a lot of people feel exactly the same way. But I think it'd be quite cool. I think it's something that he needs to do, to maybe have, like, one last big run, and then a big match to kind of go out on, and stop returning every, like, couple of months, because it just takes away from it. So I think, you know, that'd be quite cool. Do you see any other choices maybe, or if we kind of covered the big ones on this?
I think for me, the one I'm going to go with, I think Triple H could. I kind of think he should win it. For me, I love Triple H growing up. I kind of think he's underrated and he's had some phenomenal matches with people like Stone Cold, The Rock, and I kind of think he's still got a bit more to go in him. And obviously he's had this like feud with Roman Reigns and Stephanie slapped him about a bit and things. And since Roman did beat the crap out of Triple H, he's been gone for a while. So like, what better way to like, even if he comes in last, to eliminate Roman Reigns? I think it'd be the perfect way to go into WrestleMania, having a major feud like that, and kind of Triple H, kind of bring Roman Reigns into the future and make him an even bigger star than he already is.
That'd be really cool. I would actually love it if Triple H won it. One thing I'll throw in here is last year, I think it was, we got a tease of Triple H and The Rock. Do you think there's any chance we could see the Great One make a Royal Rumble appearance, maybe eliminate Triple H to go on and win the championship and give her what he'd been teasing? Because if you think about it, leading into WrestleMania, if it's someone that wins it like a Rock or a Lesnar who's not actually there every week, then it does kind of take away not having the champion there. But then it makes Fastlane all about who is the number one contender and who's going to face him at WrestleMania, and you can drop it kind of straight away. So I think it kind of makes sense to maybe have someone like a Brock Lesnar or a Rock win the championship, and then they're only holding it for a month where it's off TV, and then someone else picks it up, like a Roman Reigns.
That's the thing, like, I'm not so... I can't decide, because people who aren't in WWE on a regular basis, I kind of feel that for all they are big stars, I don't know, I'd prefer someone either new and upcoming or someone that's been there for a while. I know a lot of people complain, oh, so-and-so's back again at WrestleMania and whatnot. I kind of like the idea, but I don't know, I'm like really on the fence with it.
I think it'd be interesting, as long as it's better than his previous matches with Cena, in terms of Rock, that is. I think Rock and Triple H should probably have because it's got better chemistry, it's got all the history. So I think that would work. I'd be much more open to seeing that than The Rock going up against some new guy. There's nothing really there between them. I don't know, I think in terms of my prediction, I've got to go with the Beast. It's got to be Brock Lesnar.
Like you said, I'm like really on the fence, because I think Brock Lesnar, I wouldn't say it's totally obvious, because obviously everyone's going to go for Brock and try and get him out, but
yeah,
at this, I don't know, like, I just want a surprise for the first time in years. Like, we knew Roman Reigns was going to win, we knew Batista was going to win. I want someone like a Rey Mysterio, not necessarily Kalisto, but someone to like totally win it out of the blue, someone we won't expect.
Kevin Owens?
See, Kevin Owens for me would be the perfect person, and then obviously you could have a feud with like someone like Brock Lesnar. Or the only thing is that, does that mean if Roman Reigns does lose the title that that's who the championship match will be against? Because it seems regardless if Roman Reigns wins or loses, he's still going to be in the match.
I would probably say we'll get a multi-man match at Fastlane that'll determine who is the number one contender. I mean, I can see Reigns being the number one contender when it gets to WrestleMania anyway, unless he's got a match with Triple H. But I think we'll probably get like a main event where the championship's not on the line next month. Whoever wins that match becomes the number one contender going into WrestleMania.
You never know, maybe Vince could win.
Maybe he could. He's already won the Rumble in the past, so there's nothing stopping him now. Although he kind of struggled opening up the balls on Raw. That was kind of ridiculous. So if you kind of do that, I don't know how well he'll hold up in the ring.
I think, to be honest, for all like, I've just complained about people who part-time, I think I'd absolutely love it if like Vince actually did win.
So there you go. Forget the new stars. Forget Bray Wyatt and the likes. Let's go with the old god. Let's go with Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
is Vince going to be your pick?
I'm kind of like teetering on, can we just not say like someone from the McMahon family?
Do you want to go with someone from the Authority?
Yeah, someone from the Authority, there you go.
So you're kind of cheating on that one. So you're going to go with the Authority, someone from the Authority. Yeah. I'm going to go Brock Lesnar. There is one more name that a lot of people are talking about. We haven't mentioned it just yet. You teased it before with the Bullet Club. There's a lot of rumours. A lot of these actually coming from WWE themselves, including John Cena, who tweeted out a picture of this guy earlier. And a news site actually broke news saying that this guy starts with the WWE on Sunday, the day of the Royal Rumble, is of course a phenomenal AJ Styles. What do you make of AJ Styles if he was to return the Rumble? Do you think it's possible? And if he does, do you think he's going to win it?
I definitely think it's possible. I think it'd be kind of stupid if he doesn't turn up, especially like WWE doing all this promotion, because what else could he be going to do if he's not going to work for them? As for winning it, I don't think he should, like I said to you like earlier on, Cena tweeted that picture, and I kind of wouldn't mind Cena coming into the match. Fair enough, he's injured and things, but surely flying over a rope's not going to hurt him. And I wouldn't mind seeing AJ Styles maybe eliminate him, and then going into like WrestleMania, even if he's possibly injured, I wouldn't mind seeing the what has been in WWE versus the what could have been. I think that'd be a great match. I'm not Cena's fan by any means, but I think that sort of match would kind of cement WrestleMania, and we don't really get those kind of matches no more. Fair enough, we had Sting versus Triple H, but before that, it's been years since we've had something of that sort of caliber.
Yeah, and that'd be a really interesting match to have. Like you say, you know, Cena and AJ Styles, they both debuted at pretty much the same time. And when you think that everything that happened, AJ only had that 1 or 2 matches, and then he went over to Ring of Honor, cemented himself there, and went to TNA and really made a name for himself. Whereas John Cena, on the other hand, we all know his story. He became the face of the WWE and looks to be, in future, probably the biggest star in terms of world championships. There's going to be a time when he does surpass Ric Flair's record. It would be interesting, you know, go in a time machine, go back and switch them around and see how things had actually turned out if it was the other way around. So I think a match between them, what could have been, I think that'd be really cool to see. The Royal Rumble, though, I don't know if it's the right time. I think there's more chance of him actually making that debut on Raw. I think in terms of the Rumble, if he debuts there, he's kind of got to win it. I think if he debuted and then he got thrown out, it takes away from it and kind of ruins that. It'd be really cool to see, you know, someone win it and then the Bullet Club debut, and it's not just AJ Styles, you got the rest of them there as well, and they take out whoever is the champion. I think that sends a good message. But at the same time, then you kind of have to push AJ to take on that guy at WrestleMania. And I think if he's just coming in, he's going straight to WrestleMania, that's really quick to do that. I think it's more likely that we'll see him turn up on Raw and he starts a program where he ends up getting in a big match for WrestleMania with someone like a John Cena, but not necessarily for the championship. I don't think they'll go down that route. I don't think he'll be pushed that much to begin with.
Yeah, I definitely kind of think they've put themselves in a bit of an awkward situation, because like you say, if he does go in the Royal Rumble, surely he has to win unless they're going to point out a specific feud like Cena or someone. And I don't think he should be in the title picture. Fair enough, he's done a lot of work in New Japan and things like that, but it's WWE, and I kind of think if you're going to go into a major title match, you kind of should have earned it. And like you said, for all he's been brilliant, he hasn't done anything here yet. And like you said, I think he should probably leave it until Raw and then start a brand new feud. Fair enough if it's going to be all of Bullet Club or whatnot. And I know there's a lot of talk of some of them going to NXT, but I think I'd rather them start fresh come Raw instead of trying to figure something out on the night for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense. I think I would love to see him in the Rumble. I think I was going to say if his music hits, but I don't know what his music would be. So that'd be kind of a surprise. It'll all be new if we just hear this music we don't know, and then out comes AJ Styles. I think it'd be a really cool moment. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're teasing it too much. If they were going to do it, I don't think they'd be teasing it this much. I think it's just a way to get people to, you know, subscribe to the network, to buy the pay-per-view, tune in to see it, and then keep that for Raw on the following night, so people have to tune in to see if he does actually turn up there.
I kind of think what I wouldn't mind is if, say, whatever music hits, I don't know what the hell they'd use, but they have like the Titantron with Bullet Club and they all walk out, and one of them, possibly AJ Styles, is supposed to be the entrant, but he kind of like, he comes out and then he goes back and he's kind of like over WWE, he thinks he's above it and things, and kind of have that sort of angle where, say, he's under contract not by his own admission, and he kind of feels he's above WWE because of the sort of wrestling he's done in places like New Japan and Ring of Honor and things. I wouldn't mind that kind of angle going into something. It'd be something different and definitely unique, but I don't know, I think they're going to have to play it carefully because there's a chance that a lot of them could get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I think so. I think whatever they do here, they really need to kind of plan it out and have a plan going forward. Just putting him in the Royal Rumble for the sake of it and just being that entrant to give everyone it because they're expecting it, I think that's the wrong way to go. It's a really cool thing to see, but unless they've got like a plan to actually play out and something in place, I would much prefer them just keeping it for Raw. So I think I'm on the fence. I want to see him, but I don't want him just debuting for the sake of it. I'd rather keep it till Raw and then get something proper.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't want them to debut in like a backstage segment. That'd be 10 times worse.
Oh, that'd be awful. Like, I don't know, maybe we can just, like, if something happens and he does debut, I think it'd be really cool to see the whole Bullet Club just take out someone and just make a statement rather than actually in the match itself. Because like I say, if they're in the match itself, I feel they'll have to win it. And if they don't, then it makes it a bit of a waste.
Definitely.
So I guess that kind of covers our preview and predictions for the event. But make sure to get involved. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, along with who you would like to see make a Dream Royal Rumble appearance. Elle, before we sign out, have you got any content that you'd like to promote?
I've got Royal Rumble through the years. I've got my Korean. Next week, the Divas Korean, which kind of seems to be going down well. I've done some interesting things with Tyler Breeze, and you kind of get some conclusion. Earlier this week, I did Resident Evil Inspired Tales, so if you're a fan of horror games, and especially Resident Evil, definitely check them out.
I'll definitely check them out. I'm loving Res Evil at the minute. So, if you're a fan of Res Evil, then definitely check out Elle, because she's been doing a live stream, so you can check out the kind of playthrough of that. It's been awesome to watch and such a good game. As for the Smack Talks channel, I've tried out a few different things because there's been a lot of problems with community creations. So it's kind of pushed me to do a couple of different things, and it's went pretty well. We've got a new series called On This Day, which looks at things that happened on a certain day in WWE history. We've also got fantasy booking that says the Shield reunite in the Royal Rumble. Can't really see that happening this year, but maybe next year. There is a new weekly series that went down pretty well. It's called This Week in Wrestling. That just catches you up on everything that's happened over the past week. And then this Sunday, we'll have the 2K King of the Ring. I'm going to be taking on Big Red NY. So that's a pretty cool YouTuber tournament. There's 8 YouTubers in there. Thankfully, Elle's not in there because she would just like completely dominate a lot of her. But I've got Big Red NY. He's playing as John Cena. I'm Triple H. I have to get that sledgehammer. I have to get practicing because John Cena, this is a hard task. This is John Cena. I can't say he's pinning him. He's always going to kick out at the very, very last second. Elle, what do you rate my chances?
Well, he is injured, so you've got slightly chance, but
let's hope the ratings have been adjusted to like compensate for that.
I definitely think out of the UK people, you've got more chance than Dale.
I think so. I think that's a given. So if Dale loses, we'll face each other in the losers bracket, and hopefully I win that one. I've got to win that one. What am I even questioning for? It's Dale. So that's a guaranteed win. Make sure to check that out on Sunday. We've got the first round matches, and don't forget, if you want to submit your predictions for the Royal Rumble, then you can head over to smacktalks.org/predictions. So all that's left to be said is enjoy the Royal Rumble, and until next time, I'll catch you later.
Bye.